Milan Rane, a team that plays together a lot, train together a lot, and I just think this is going to be a great match. What do you think, Carson?
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to watch. I think we've got some crafty players on both teams, so it'll be good.
Time in. 0-0.
That entire point set up with Irina Tereschenko is just kind of scraping in on that forehand dink and speeding it up to Milan Rane and giving Yana Newell the counterattack finish.
1-0.
Little bit of a miss hit there.
1.
But those are tough ones. We're early in the match though.
Yeah, it's also a little windy out here today.
It is, and this is the sun is going down. So right now, Milan Rane and Bobbi Oshiro, a little bit of sun still coming into their eyes with a little bit of wind, but that will be going away very soon here. Irina Tereschenko, one of the biggest legends, more MLP titles. Been playing pickleball just as long as I have, and so she's been around.
3-1.
Just a little bit high off of Rane's paddle, giving Yana Newell that redirect with her backhand.
4-1. Side out. Point 2.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there's a speaker right next to us, so the hopefully that sound is not terrible coming out on the other end.
Point.
Nice hands battle there by both teams.
3-4. Point.
And that's Major League Pickleball right there, like 3 points right off the bat right there. So this game can change very, very quickly. We also had airport very close to us, so that planes we are going to hear throughout. But a beautiful site here at the USA campus in Orlando.
Point. 5-4. Football.
Kind of a rare one right there. Kind of
Point
surprising.
5.
It's a great setup, though.
Yeah. When Millie starts making those speed ups, that's a tough ball to get out of the way of and counter back.
Nice touch.
A little tricky. And, you know, I love Irina, but she's going to get about someone on the sidelines talking during the point, which
6-5.
is tough to get away from here. Cross-court dinking between Newell and Rane, and then one of them is probably going to be looking to redirect that speed up. We just haven't seen much different yet. Keeping really Bobbi and Irina out of that point a little bit.
Tied up. 7.
Great roll dink by Millie there. Right in a great spot to middle of the court.
I feel like we really haven't even started on the points that probably will happen in this game. This is the first match that both teams have played, and we're at women's doubles, which is the first match of the game of the entirety of the match. So these players, I believe, will get consistent. Now we're seeing a little bit more ball movement. They're a little bit more warmed up, and there's just a little bit of height. Newell popping that ball up, and Tereschenko was ready for that speed up from Milan Rane, but clipping the net, just anything can happen here. I love that Irina kind of turning around, slowing down for a second, kind of trying to get Newell motivated, getting the energy up. And we are back to the cross court between these two. There's that forehand. And this is why Irina Tereschenko is so great on the right side of the court. She can really reach in, and there wasn't much pace on that ball. It was like neither Rane or Oshiro even moved for that.
7, 9. Point, 10.
Bobbi Oshiro starts hitting that shot, she's feeling more confident, and when she gets on fire, like if you see Rane and Oshiro both taking those mid-court speed-ups on the 5th shots, I think that's when they play their best. They get a little bit of that crashing into the net, and very hard to handle with that power.
12, 7.
Set it up with that great topspin forehand drop.
And that is on the changeover. Mike on this, but I don't know if that's a conflict, but it's a pure entertainment. I love it. I feel like he's got a towel for me or something, but I don't know.
14, 7.
I agree. I mean, this is definitely, you got essentially Oshiro and Millie, Rane play a lot of tournaments right now. Tereschenko's primarily playing Major League Pickleball, so these do kind of take effects into our DUPRs. The experience on that side of the court is amazing. I think if Yana Newell can remain consistent, then she's got Irina Tereschenko next to her, and she can lead her and guide her into beat, which really right then led to a timeout.
League Pickleball.
Back here in Orlando, Florida, Major League Pickleball at the USTA campus. I am Sarah Ansberry with Kaysen Campbell. And SoCal Heartaches just came out for this timeout, kind of led by Irina Tereschenko. Yana Newell's got a high forehand put away, and hearing Tereschenko get a little amped up and excited, that's kind of what needs to happen. This has been a fairly low, I'm gonna say super low energy match, which is not what the SoCal Heartaches need right now. I mean, essentially right now, Oshiro and Rane, they're just playing uber consistent and getting a little bit more opportunities and taking advantage. And that's fantastic defense from Millie Rane. And that just makes Yana Newell want to stretch a little bit more into the non-volley zone, causing a footfall. I love this adjustment as well. Tereschenko came onto the left side of the court. This is actually something I was thinking about earlier in the match. Throughout the season, they've done that. Tereschenko's a phenomenal left-sided player, but Rane and was really going backhand to backhand with Yana Newell, causing a lot of pop-ups. So I think this is a great adjustment. It's going to make Oshiro and Rane change their patterns a little bit. But let me tell you, Irina Tereschenko in a backhand to backhand dink rally is not going to miss that many balls.
Great point. Little missed volley by Oshiro. But great point overall.
10-18.
Again, just that energy is getting a little bit higher on the SoCal Hard 8 side of the court, which means owner Pat Rolfs is very happy right now. And now that right there is what, if Tereschenko and Newell can set that play up, that's what they want to do.
19-11.
Now that was all set up by Tereschenko's left-handed flip, which is, again, one of those things she does so well. She knows how to lead these matches. If anyone can come back, she certainly can. There's again, flip, just to the backhand flip. Just putting a little bit more pressure on Miami right now and trying to shift that momentum.
13-19.
And basically what this pressure and momentum is doing is now a team that was super consistent for, you know, really over the 50% of this match so far is now kind of getting some errors, forced and unforced. So you're seeing the movement on the side of the SoCal Hard 8 just being so much quicker, kind of more aggressive. I mean, phenomenal speed ups, and essentially, this is, look at Tereschenko, she's up high, so really important when you're in these counterattacks, you know, hand speed battles that you're getting on top of the ball. And essentially, Irina. Oh, that right there, and that kind of. Gosh, they got it. I'm not gonna lie, super lucky. Super. It was. Irina had set up a ball that Newell really could have poached, and she just did not even move for that ball. So I really honestly thought that point was over. But that again kind of shows you what happens at Major League Pickleball. But that time, Milan Rane was ready and went inside out behind Irina Tereschenko. But now we're in a 3-point game, 4-point game. It's still a lot better than what on the changeover. So you see that adjustment that Milan Rane, on average, I think is going to go cross court more often on that backhand, and she doesn't want to do it with Irina Tereschenko. So, like I said a little bit ago, she's had to change her patterns. So now she's going down the line, which may cause a couple errors just like that. And again, I really felt like Newell had opportunities to be counterattacking those balls, and essentially what it did was just allow them to kind of keep attacking. Again, I mean, I got to admit, Irina Tereschenko's done a lot to turn this match around, but I think Yana Newell's just doesn't seem like she's playing super confident behind those balls.
22-17.
And both teams are hitting some pretty nice short slice returns, which do make it trickier to drive that ball, but they're still being very successful with it. think, yeah, I feel like that was a speed up from Newell where it was maybe a little forced.
I think she had an opportunity, maybe 2 balls earlier to
I agree.
flick that one out of the air. A couple balls late.
Gosh, that was his second footfall call on Yana Newell and on a match point. That's, you know, I really felt like there was a shift there. I did think that Hard Eights was going to come back and take that, but that just gives SoCal their first loss. And Miami Pickleball Club at 1-0, we will have men's doubles coming. And we are back here at Major League Pickleball. This is our second challenger match of the day. We've got Miami Pickleball Club, SoCal Heartaches. We are in Orlando, Florida. Miami Pickleball Club is up currently 1 match to nothing. I'm Sarah Ansberry with Kaysen Campbell. That is something I feel like we're going to see from Oncins quite a bit. He's got that nice forehand flick. It's just such good reach. And let's say Khlif is, I think, one of the most well-rounded, kind of a newer player in this last year, but let me tell you, he's one of the most athletically talented men I've seen play out on these courts.
It's going to be a very fun match. We've got some very crafty players on the court with Max Manthou, Erik Oncins. I feel like actually a very similar matchup.
Absolutely, and you've got Erik Lange, very clean, very controlled, consistent. Both, big reach on both. We've got a little bit of a verbal warning from our referees. And let me tell you how tough this job is for them out there. Most of them are both at PPA and MLP events, out on their feet all day, longer than us. I just feel
4-0.
Miami is going to be tough to beat. These two are just, when they're on, I just feel like it's very, and I actually believe I watched them play in Virginia Beach. And if Erik Lange can get solid, maybe get a little big in the middle and just make some clean shots, I think that's most definitely a need.
1-4.
He's definitely has, if he can stay aggressive, play within himself, then he can be an unstoppable force for SoCal Heartaches.
2-4.
That was, I mean, if you're going to try to drive past Khlif, it's got to be almost perfect.
Yeah, Max was a bit out of position on his back foot to try and hit that drive.
And I think it can happen a lot where players looking to poach go too early, go too far too fast without kind of thinking so much, and that can be very tough on a positioning standpoint.
6-2.
Yeah, I love that. Phenomenal cross-court drop shot, really just setting him up to accelerate through that 5th shot.
7-2.
I mean, that's a 7-2 very quickly in this match. And they really have to keep doing things like this, taking a little bit longer in between points, try to slow down that rhythm. I also do think this is an interesting part about Max Manthou's game is he will start further back and he wants to move forward with his returner. I just feel you've got Lange and Manthou both trying to play the middle of the court, and that's just not super effective.
9-2.
But Oncins and Khlif, they are okay with every speed up and hand speed battle. So if I'm Lange and Manthou, I don't think you have a choice but to slow down the points, dink a little bit more, and try to build it before letting them in.
10-2.
It just, there's that thing where I get like, let's if you know something's working or you know it's a play that's going to work, then yeah, you're going to lose a few, but still go for it. But here, it is not working, and they simply have to change what they're doing. And it's kind of that same thing. What I loved about that is, you know, this is where players get caught a lot trying to play the middle, is Erik shifted over to go look like he's going to poach, and Khlif caught him as he was moving and onto his forehand side. Because Erik's essentially prepped for a backhand, and now going to that right hip, it's almost impossible. It's coach, Adam Stone, husband of Corinne Carr, definitely some pickleball royalty. So if you're going to get some advice, Adam Stone is going to be the guy. Strategically, just super intelligent and respectful, and but I'm just not seeing much change right now. And there's a lot of frustration on this side of the court. Okay, that might be the first ball that we've seen Khlif miss this game. So we do have all of heartaches kind of near them, trying to get them going. And it's, I mean, honestly, it's a lot of guys get stuck in this where they, like Oncins just did, looking to kind of block for a backhand, but then they don't have room to move for a forehand. And so we've got a little bit of momentum here. We're kind of doubling the score right now.
5-14.
And you can see how much longer they're taking between points. They're really trying to slow down the momentum of Oncins and Khlif.
I think with that drive, Max did it 2 times in a row. He hit Noe a little bit outside of his left shoulder. It's definitely a lot harder to hit a backhand out wide than it is like from inside your body. So I think if they're going to drive, they need to go a little bit Noe's left shoulder instead of right at him.
Oh, and again, that's just not a... Yeah, but I think what the smart thing that Lange and Manthou did was stay back. They didn't try to force their way to the net like they've been doing this entire match, and just it's okay to play defense for a minute and make them hit a few more balls. And
big forehands by Erik there.
So that's the changeover. We went from 2 to 8, so this is a huge benefit, getting a little bit more consistent. I like the drop shot. I just feel like that's the right shot right now. Again, like I said, getting them to build a point a little bit more. And let's just say the driving is not... forced errors. And now we're at 5 points, which is not too bad.
Noe. 12-15.
They're still, that's a point that Miami definitely needed, and just to get that ball back and start feeling more confident again. I mean, now we're at a 3-point difference. I love that forehand dink that Oncins has from that left side of the court, really pushing Manthou off the court. And I gotta stress again, look how many forehand dinks are being taken. They're moving around, trying to take that as a forehand. So, you know, a lot of people out there watching, the tendency for players is they go for way too many backhand dinks. That forehand just gives a lot of maneuverability, a lot of options, a lot of disguise. It is worth looking to take. And that's a fantastic angle from Lange. That right there
is the way to use his height.
Yeah.
13-17.
Got a little bit of momentum.
I think that's the spot I was kind of talking about earlier, where you're driving to Noe's outside of Noe's left hip and shoulder area. I think that's the spot to go to.
I mean, but then that's exactly what he did, and we're still getting the counterattack. So again, it is definitely timing. I'd be looking at the right hip more than anything, honestly, because they're both, he's so leaning towards his backhand that. So right there, that's a great speed up that Max Manthou went to his right side. So he's chicken winging to respond to that. And now it sets up that. Now, what I would have liked was Manthou being more ready to counter that when he hit that speed up to look to finish on the next ball. He kind of hit that ball and like was waiting to see what he was doing. And that right there is simply team momentum. That's a team that was leading massively and suddenly have a lot of pressure on them because it's a lot closer. Now we're in a 2-point game. And let's be real, confidence can kill you on the court. So that was a move that's the same thing. We're seeing this drive a lot, but where we get caught is if the drive isn't perfect and you're crashing all the way in, then you may be leaving a lot of the court open. And I really want to stress they're really pushing Max out of the water. Trying to really keep Erik out of that center space too, and Max out of the middle, but Erik being able to reach in, Erik Lange reaching in was huge.
Just threw him off there with that off-speed, speed up down the middle.
Phenomenal defense. And there he is, and I think it happens all the time. People get caught, they play great defense, and then they try to rush to the line. But that was just kind of bad timing right there. Lange got to the line right when Oncins was going to speed it up, so he used that positioning against him. And that is exactly why they've been playing to Max Manthou's backhand and trying to pull him off the court, because you do not want to give him that forehand in the middle.
19-20.
And that's, as a ball, looked like Manthou probably could have been the one to come in and take, but Lange kind of tried to reach in with that backhand. I think that's a little bad luck for Hard Eights, which gives Miami a little bit of good luck finally.
22-19.
again, that's kind of the speed a lot of players when they're rushing up to that line, and you know they're paddling.
23-19. Start out. Point 20.
It's a bit of a different speed up than we're used to seeing going cross court, throwing Oncins off a little bit to get us easy ball for the next one.
Super smart from Khlif, really slowing down that fourth shot, not allowing Lange to kind of come in and be aggressive with it, and pulling him out of the middle. Fantastic play. I absolutely love the change in tactical. They went back, they slowed down the point. And we are back here in Orlando, Florida at the USTA campus. I am Sarah Ansberry with Carson Casey, and we've got the Miami Pickleball Club and SoCal Heartaches in this challenger match where Miami leads 2-0. So this is a must-win for Tereschenko and Manthou. Both teams want to really put out their best mix for this, because it's a, for Miami, this is a let's win and be done. And so we're prepared for tomorrow, and for Heartaches, this is let's win and give us a chance to go to a super tiebreaker.
Great roll dink by Bobbi Oshiro there.
2-0. Point 1.
And I think this is, you got Tereschenko, solid mixed doubles player. So is Oshiro. Where Manthou and Khlif, probably the newbies on the court, essentially, but still super solid, super athletic.
3-1.
And great movement from Oshiro, really pulling Manthou behind, opening up the court.
Four-1.
And just a little luck, but you know, so far we're seeing the Ernies both from the guys in this match.
5-1.
Great start for Miami.
A two-handed backhand to ATP. And again, I think that's something that happens a lot with that ATP. Players get stuck kind of in that backhand to backhand dink. The ball gets a little bit too sharp. Another reason why we talked about in the last match, why using that forehand is super beneficial. I mean, just phenomenal body control from Khlif. Just obviously frustration coming from Tereschenko right now. And honestly, who wouldn't be? You're in this match, you really have to win, and down 2-7. I I really like how Khlif lets Oshiro take a lot of those thirds, allowing him to come forward and really put a lot of pressure at the net.
3-7.
And that's something from Oshiro that you do see a lot. What she does very well on that right side is kind of reach in, and you know, she's not super tall, but she uses her length as well as anybody. And there's that forehand flick through the middle from Manthou. And again, I think that's just timing. Great defense, but Khlif had just kind of been, oh, I can go in now. And that is just getting Manthou the spot right behind him as he's moving to come forward.
It's interesting to see Irina use the lob serve, but she actually uses a will. I think they get short returns that they're able to drive, and weren't able to take advantage of it there, but I do like the lob serve.
It's the biggest benefit on that when you've got someone with a good slice return. A lob serve is going to actually make that slice bounce a little bit higher. Even if they still slice it, you're still going to actually get a little bit more height, which is a huge benefit of that lob serve.
Bit of a lucky miss hit, I think, there from Bobbi, but ended up dropping in.
11-4.
And gosh, that just looked like complete kind of a mistiming from Tereschenko. Looks like her foot kind of got stuck on the ground.
12-4.
And I feel like that was a little bit of a we're up 12-5 kind of attack from the heels.
5-12.
I mean, really good spacing. Bobbi Oshiro was able to get out of the way and kind of turn that ball into a counterattack, but Khlif wasn't really ready for that ball to come at him, so great adjustment. Tonight. Wow, that ball, like, I mean, from my angle, I could not believe the spin. Like, that ball dips so quickly on both sides.
Almost gets the same shot there, just missing in the top of the tape. Yeah, we've seen with the first two matches similar score lines with the hard eights being down, but they were able to fight their way back pretty close in the first two, but weren't able to take it. So,
and there's that shot from Bobbi Oshiro, just kind of inside out. She doesn't miss a lot. It would be great. I would love if the hard eights were able to kind of step back into this match and play to the way they can. I think Tereschenko knows that, and they're both frustrated with that. And if they could just get a couple of points go their way, that this momentum can absolutely shift.
9-14. Point 15.
so much spin on that ball.
15-9.
I mean, let's not lie. We got two Yola paddles on this side of the court. So, and it is getting chilly, so just remember that ball does change in the cold. It's going to be a little bit faster out there. And going for that two-handed around the post again. Not as much room on this side of the court as there is on the other. Maybe a little bit, but
16-9.
and you can see it. Oshiro's got a pattern. Tereschenko knows it, but it's. I think also that can be tough because, you know, Manthou really has to be ready for that forehand in the middle. And so recognizing that ball's coming back at you like that is super important. I really think that's experience more than anything.
Yeah, Khlif there, try out the lob serve. Work.
One timeout. Time in. 18-9.
Be a little bit of a timing error, but that's good. I mean, that's anything that the hard eights can get right now is going to be good. And just great deep return off that ball. I mean, basically baseline to the net. I mean, that's a phenomenal shot from Oshiro.
19-10.
And there's
that'll change some things sometimes with those net cords. You never know, it can be a change in momentum.
it's good clean living is what I call that. And again, just I think the guys are getting a little bit caught on timing, trying to rush in on balls that they're not really in a position to rush in on. We saw that in our previous match in the men's game. And just the way that that ball is dipping, and I will admit, we've had a lot of net cords. I mean, Tereschenko defended that ball very well, but just was not ready for that net cord on the next one. And that's a ball in women's doubles. Bobbi would be speeding up with the swing volley, whereas in the person in front of them, but right there in women's doubles, she's probably not going to be attacking that at mixed Manthou. Gosh, and you can see Tereschenko knows where, and that's what I appreciate about her game. She knows where the ball's going to go before I think some of the other players do on the court. And so she's always in the right position to cover. She's got great defense.
22-12. Side out. Point 13.
Great forehand drive by Manthou there, getting it below the net.
14-22.
And just a couple of easy points right here for the hard eights.
15-22.
Oh gosh, and he had an opportunity. He most definitely did. He could have gone for the middle on that, but he played that, I mean, tricky shot. So, I'll just take that time. Oh gosh, that
Does look out.
it does from our end, but it is going to be the referee that looks at the challenge. And they will look at the angles until they make a clear decision. If it is a clear overrule, they will not overrule it unless they're 100% sure. I do believe it is definitely out.
23. Twenty-three, 16. Point.
Unlucky bounce for the hard eights. Gives us match point for the Miami Pickleball
24,
Club.
16.
Every match so far, it's only taken one match point to close it out. So let's see if the hard eights can change it here. And that is it. And sometimes we have this thing called the commentator's curse. It worked out for us in that one.
17, 24.
And that's a fantastic. Oshiro knew it before she just was caught moving the wrong way, and a fantastic redirect from Max Manthou.
18, 24.
And again, I thought it was a great move, and
Point.
they're kind of looking for it. It did look like it went out there. I think they're trying to decide if they're going to challenge it. And they are going to challenge it. I think it's worth it, honestly. It gives them a match point. Looking at it on the court from the commentary book, it looked like it might have hit. That camera is going to... I think the contact point is behind the line. It does look like it slightly went out. Third referee, and gosh, that was overruled. And Bobbi Oshiro, I'm not gonna lie, I've played with Bobbi many times. She's a friend of mine. She is like overly safe on line calls. She gives them away all the time, and that's she was joking. She's already gotten overtold twice in Dallas, so that's a tough one. That's a super, super tough one to see. So mistakes happen. I think most of the time they're not malicious, so it was definitely not in that situation. And just so unfortunate from Tereschenko. She had the right play, the right move, and now we have another match point for Miami.
19.
Such a patient point with, I think, Bobbi Oshiro was kind of waiting for that speed up and ready to go, and that gives a 3-0 finish for the Miami Pickleball Club.